Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before and haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and thumbs ups. Very much appreciated, along with your comments. Love to hear the comments. Oh man, this game hurt my brain. It really did. We had it. We could have won this game. At the end of the third quarter, we were up 88-86. Yeah, and in fact, we should have been up even more so, but, you know, there was a technical at the end of the third quarter, just poor late game execution. And in fact, at one point, we were leading 88-83. And then we surrendered a 19-5 run, which pretty much sealed the game. We lost it 114-107. And I have a lot to say about this game. I'm not going to be showing any highlights, so if you want highlights, check them out. There's plenty you can watch on YouTube and other channels. I'm going to focus mostly on one particular player, Julius Randle, and then I'm going to get into all the other players. But actually, I'm going to do it reverse. I'm going to talk about the good stuff, and then I'm going to talk about the not so good stuff. So let's go. Here we go. 114-107, and for a good stretch there, this game, we looked like we were going to lose this game. We were didn't even have a chance. And then we had a nice third quarter. We came out and really, the team made a tremendous effort to win. We scored 41 points in the third quarter alone. We outscored the Celtics 41-24 in the third quarter, but once again, we had a lackluster start to the game. It was we only scored 18 points in the first quarter, surrendered 32, and pretty much that was. And then guess what? We only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. That's right. So we begin the quarter with the lead. So what should our very best player do? He should do everything possible to secure the win. Now, I will say, just to give Julius Randle a little bit of props, that third quarter, it started out kind of not so good, a little bit of disarray. He did change up his game. The first play to begin the second half was an ISO play for Julius against Jason Tatum. Now, I don't know. Maybe I didn't get the memo where that's a situation where Julius is just supposed to feast in ISO. Sorry, I didn't get that memo. And guess what? It didn't turn into that. It was a garbage play, and it turned into a garbage result. And luckily, Julius changed it up a little bit and just started allowing the offense to flow. And guess who started to cook? Kemba Walker. That's right. Kemba Walker started to cook. He did not have, he at least was giving his all in that first half. It just wasn't that efficient. I believe he was like 3 of 12 or something, 3 of 11 in that first half. But he ended up finishing the game with 29 points, 6 rebounds. Nice. 3 assists. He shot 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 45.4% from the three-point line. So the ex-Celtic went to Boston. He started the game because we were without Derrick Rose and without, 6 other players because of COVID. No RJ, no Obi, no Grimes, no Knox, and sadly, no Deuce McBride. And not even Kevin Knox. So we were definitely incredibly depleted, much more depleted. Even though I was forced to watch the NBA TV broadcast with the Celtics announcers, who, by the way, were, surprisingly chill. Usually it's painful watching another team's regional broadcast, but they were surprisingly chill. But even so, they kept saying, "Oh, the Celtics are depleted. These two teams are depleted." No, the Knicks were much more depleted. However, that's not an excuse. Not when you have an all-NBA player like Julius Randle. Julius Randle should have delivered this win for us. He did not. I'm disgusted. I am totally disgusted. And I'm going to keep getting to that. I'm teasing it because I want to talk about some nice stuff first. I am very happy for Kemba Walker. He finally got a chance to dust himself off. He looked rusty in that first half, which is to be expected. He hasn't played in quite a while, since before the Atlanta game. I can't even remember which game that was. Since November, he hasn't played. But he came out today because we were desperate, and he gave he gave an alpha type effort, and I commend him. He shows that he can contribute. He can contribute. In the end, he was a plus, let's see here. Yes, Kemba Walker was a +5. And that actually tells the story. Now, the plus minus, again, it's a flawed stat on each individual game by game, but you can tell the eye test, he was a plus player. The other guy who had pride, who realized the team is depleted and they need me, Evan Fournier. 32 points, the team high, I believe. Yeah, it was the game high. Was he the game high? Yes, he was. Game high, 32 points and team high, obviously. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, shot 13 of 24, 54.1% of his field goals. Now, he did have 4 turnovers, which is typical for Evan Fournier, but he gave you two steals, so you kind of like on balance. And I mean, for a while there, that was, part of the reason why we were able to take the lead, even while I was completely infuriated during that beginning of the second half with Julius Randle's play. The team kept clawing at it, and they were hitting shots because Kemba and Fournier were doing their job. They were doing their job. Unlike, supposedly, our engine. Our engine sputtered again. Why? Why? Why do we have to endure this? Why? What is going on with you, Julius Randle? I mean, are you guys? I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly frank with you guys. I'm a really optimistic person, and I like to. I mean, I saw some really positive things recently from Julius. Yeah, that tremendous 25-point second half, and then he had a really nice game against the Warriors. I believe he connected 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. And then tonight without Derrick Rose, without Deuce, we're totally depleted. This is the night that you, as the leader of this team, as the engine, as the number 1 guy, you come out and you give us nothing. I mean, basically, yeah, you ended up with 20 points. But guess what? It took you 19 field goal attempts to give us 20 points. You shot 1 of 7 from the 3-point line. You gave us 20 points. It took you 19 attempts. Alec Burks gave us 19 points, just 1 point less than you. And he took 10 less shots than you. What is that? Seriously. I don't think we can continue going this way. Julius is not the guy. Yeah. And now, when I say that, I'm fully aware that he's not the guy, never was the guy. He's not. And by that, to qualify what that means to me, so we all have an understanding, the guy means the guy. When you need a bucket, he gets it for you. When you need a win, he gets it for you. Well, you are proving to not be that person. Can you have? I mean, and it hurts to say it because you had the best statistical season that a Knick has ever had last season, and there has been incredible Hall of Fame players, legends that have worn New York across their chest that have never had a season the way you had last season. But that is a mirage now. That may look like it was fool's gold. That's what last season is starting to look like right now. There is no excuse for the performance you gave tonight. I mean, if you have one, Well, then what's your excuse for all the other nights? What's your excuse for averaging 19.6 points per game this season compared to 24 last season? What's your excuse for averaging 34.4% from the free throw from the 3-point line? What's your excuse for averaging 42.4% field goals? What's your excuse for not being able to feast on Pritchard, who was guarding you? What's your excuse for the turnovers? What's your excuse for the whining? What's your excuse for the constant complaining about the fouls? You shoved Marcus Smart, and then you grabbed Jaylen Brown on the next possession, and you're whining. You almost got a technical for that. You know the message you're sending out to people? It's disgusting. I'm disgusted. You're making $100 million contract. You have a $100 million contract. We gave you the bag. You got the commercials. You got the New York. New York is yours. And you're dribbling it away off your foot every night. I'm sick of it. And Tom Thibodeau, enough with Julius. Enough with babying him. Enough. Wake his ass up. I'm sick of this. This team has too much. Look what happened. Look what happened tonight. Look at this. This guy gives you 32. This guy gives you 29. We have talent on this team, even depleted as we are. But this guy, Julius, who's supposed to be our leader, our number one, can't even. There's my rant for Julius. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. Now, look, the plus minus doesn't even tell the story. It's a -4. And you know why? Because he happened to be on the court when Kemba and Fournier just went off in that third quarter. Because once he realized, wait a second, I'm playing like an idiot. Maybe I'll just let these other guys shoot. And they actually started connecting. But, you're the main guy. That can only last for about a quarter, maybe 2. But when it's crunch time, that's when we need you. And you weren't there. You really haven't been there all season, man. Of course, you've had a game here and there, but that's not what the NBA is about. That's not what being the main guy is about. The main guy brings it every single night. If you have 4 games in a week, you bring it for 3.5 of those. Not you. You bring it for like 1, maybe 1.5. And it's like a half spread out over the other 3 games or 4 games. Look at Tatum. Tatum took 24 shots to get 25 points. Not efficient. No. But either was same with Jaylen Brown. Nope. But look at Richardson. 27 points. And one thing I got to point out, though, they kept shooting their 3-pointers. We didn't shoot enough 3-pointers. See, there's the game flow you guys can see. We had the lead at the end of the third quarter. And then surrendered that 19-5 run. Well, they began at the tail end of the third quarter. And that was the game. Turnovers. We committed 14. They committed 13, but they got 21 points off of those turnovers that we committed. We only got 7 off of theirs. Now, the whole team, there were issues. I mean, Burks, he gave a yeoman's effort. But, he still committed 4 turnovers. Kemba, Fournier, again, of course, he gave us 32 points, but committed 4 turnovers. We only went 8 deep tonight. No points from Selden. No points from Taj. Taj, who played 22 minutes. No points. Mitch played 22 minutes. Only 3 points. Mitch is a -10. Taj a -11. Burks a -12. And Randle was a -4. All the other players were plus today. Yeah. The way that the team is structured right now is not the way that the team can. We can't succeed that way. I hope that once we start getting our guys back, especially like RJ and Obi, that Thibs just finally realizes that style of play of, dribble, look for Randle, get the ISO. No, we can't play that way. That's not a recipe for success. Look at the way the second unit plays. They move the ball, constant motion, energy. First unit has to play that way. I don't want to hear the excuses. Play that way. That's the way to win. That's it. I'm out. Thank you for watching this. I hope we can recover, man. I hope we can recover. This was I know we were incredibly depleted, but the game was there. The game was there. In fact, the Celtics kind of almost wanted to give it to us. But we dribbled it off our foot once again. All right, well, thank you for watching this. My name is George. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit the thumbs up and drop your comments. I want to hear your feelings about this game and what I've been talking about here in terms of it might be time to make some serious changes in terms of how the offense is executed every single night. All right. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.